going to work another sweep everybody should know how to do, the double ankle sweep, okay? And this one a lot of people do wrong. It will still work, except when it doesn't, okay? So Liam's in my closed guard. This is for when they stand. So they're in your closed guard and all of a sudden they'll stand up, right? And they get to here. And what most people will do is this, right? And that's a good sweep and that'll work. But if you looked at me, if I did that slow motion you watched, you would see that what I'm doing is I'm lifting my hips off the mat to knock the other person down. This is how most people do the sweep, right? So we'll do it again slow. He won't have his hands on me. He'll just stand up. Yeah, stand up. Good. So most people will go here, and then what they do is they'll lift their hip up to launch the person. And you do get a lot of power that way, but right, it looks like that. Here's the problem. He's going to stand up in my guard, and he feels me go to do this, and he's going to grab my jacket. Or if it's no-gi, grab my neck. And now, the sweep doesn't work. Right? Grab my jacket. Good. So I want you guys to experience this problem real quick, and then we're going to solve it. So go back. So the first thing I want your partner to do is just stand up. You can use your hands while you're standing up. And then once you stand up, take your hands up the body. Okay? You're going to grab the ankles. Pinkies on the mat. Very important. The higher up you go, the less leverage you have. So I want to be down here. I want to unlock my legs and my knees pinch together. If my knees don't pinch together, he'll hip in. And then you're here, which you don't want. So your knees pinch together, that makes it harder for his hips to come forward. Okay? And then you knock them back. Don't worry about the follow-up just yet. Once you've both done that, what I want to have happen, your partner's going to stand up and open and grab here, and then I want your partner to grab your gi real tight and see if they can stop you from sweeping. Okay, do that back and forth, and then we'll go from there. Let's go. So how many people struggled when they grabbed your gi, right? They grab your gi and they squat, it becomes hard. So there's a way where you can make it work. There are other options too, right? So one option here, Liam's in my guard. He stands. I go to sweep, he grabs my gi, so I'm going to put my feet on his hip and sweep him a different way. That's one option. But that involves me changing my position, right? So instead, watch. He stands. I go here. Now don't let me sweep him. Right? Every time. So come back. Go ahead. Hang on tight. Under no circumstances am I asleep. Every time. We'll talk about the follow-up in a minute, but here's the difference, right? So on the first one, when they shut you down, you're lifting your hips off the mat. On this one, I'm not lifting my hips at all. I'm just taking my heels and I'm chopping straight down. My hips don't lift at all. Now sometimes there'll be a little bit of a delay, right? Come back. And then they'll start to fall. So he stands. I'm not, if my hips come off the mat at all, I'm doing it wrong. I want my hips to stay on the mat, and I just want to push my heels, hinging at the waist, straight down, and he can't stop that. Right? If I switch with Liam, try and do it the other way. No way, right? Now, just chop your heels straight down. I mean, just keep your hands there. Nope, don't lift your hips at all. Just bring your heels down to the mat. There you go. Okay. So as long as you don't try and lift your hips at all, you just push your heels straight down, they will fall. And then we'll talk about the follow-up to get on top. Okay, let's try it back and forth. It's a bit of a subtle difference, but you can see it, right? If you don't drop your hips down and pinch your knees together, it still may not work because that means they can hip in on you. So you've got to make sure that as soon as you unlock your guard, your hips drop straight down and your knees pinch together, right? So Liam's inside my closed guard. He stands. The moment I decide to open from there, I go right to here, right? I'm not in between here like this. I'm right here because I want to block his hips. And now no matter what he does, as long as I chop down with my heels, he's going to fall. Okay, now we're in kind of a neutral position. So I have to turn to one side, put a hand behind me, and I'm going to go to get on top. And they're for sure going to try and stop you. So he's going to put his hand on me. And here we're kind of in a neutral position. I'm pushing. Maybe you win that, maybe you don't. Okay? So instead, I'm going to do the same thing I've been showing you guys all the time. I'm not going to touch him with my hands. My hands go to the mat. And all I care about doing is connecting to Liam with my hip. Try not to let me get on top of you. That's all I care about. I'm using my hip to connect to his body. My hands are on the mat to facilitate that connection. It won't matter what he does with his arms. You'll get on top. So when we put it together, try not to let me get on top. See? You can see the arm lock if I want it, but you can just work your way right there because I have so much leverage when I turn to that position.
Does the sweep work the same if they're holding your neck?
Yes. So if he's holding my neck, it's the same thing. And then same thing right here. Okay, let's try it. Good. It's tempting to want to grab them when you sweep. Look here. It's tempting to want to grab them back, but don't do that. You want to turn and put two hands to the mat. There's an easy arm bar there, and it's the same arm bar we worked last week if the person's being really stubborn about trying to shove you off, right? All you have to do is bring your shin over the head. I want you to be real careful with this one in the gym because it's fast, but it's there. Just be mindful of it. So he stands up. Sweep, I go here, and maybe they're being real stubborn with this arm, right? All I need to do is just go here and then just put my left knee on the other side of his head. And remember, I don't need to worry about where my right leg is. That'll be trapped as weights on it, that's fine. The moment if he tried to lift up to escape from that armbar, then my knees would clamp together. But if he doesn't, it's okay where it is. So one more time. Open and drop, chop, two hands here, real stubborn, that gives me time, gently right there, there's your arm bar. Okay, you guys can put that in if you like, and then we're going to move on. Let's go. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for frequent updates because we're updating this every week, and make sure you comment and like and share our videos. We appreciate it, and we definitely try and respond to all the comments. And if you like what we're doing and you like the material, check out SBG University, SBGU, and you're going to see a ton more in much greater depth than what you see here on YouTube. Thank you very much.